Larry and I expect to have about $2,500 a month in Social Security income when we begin traveling full time. Our current basic household expenses are approximately $33.13 a month. That is an $813 monthly shortfall before we take a single trip, eat at a restaurant, replace an appliance, or do anything that feels like retirement. So, yes, we can retire, but we cannot keep living the same American life on $2,500 a month. And that is why we're selling almost everything and leaving. I'm Pam, and this is Cruise Casino Secrets, casino offers, travel points, and smarter retirement travel. We're planning to sell our house and begin traveling full time in March of 2027. But this video isn't about pretending Europe is always cheap, that house sitting is a permanent vacation, or that casino cruises are free. This is about the real reason our retirement plan requires us to leave behind a traditional American household. The math does not work unless we change the entire structure of our expenses. Before someone hears the title and immediately starts typing, let me be clear. I am not saying that nobody can retire in America on $2,500 a month. Someone may have a paid off house, very low property taxes, inexpensive health care, family support, or a lifestyle that costs much less than ours. I'm also not saying that every country overseas is cheaper than every city in America. That would be ridiculous. I am saying that we cannot maintain our current home, vehicles, and normal expenses and still have the retirement life we want on $2,500 a month. These are our real numbers. My monthly income will be about $1,600 after my Medicare premium has already been deducted. I am on disability if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know I have a bad back and I've had spine fusion and before that, countless other procedures. Larry expects to receive about $900 a month. That gives us roughly $2,500 a month, or about $30,000 a year. That is the recurring income our plan needs to work around. We expect to net about $150,000 when we sell our house. But that money is not monthly income. It is savings, it is protection, and it is not something that we want to drain every month just to cover ordinary living expenses. Larry and I did save for retirement, but several years ago we suffered major investment losses that wiped out much of what we had built. And for about the last 10 years or a little bit more, I have been unable to work because of a disability. That did not just reduce our current income, it also meant 10 years without the wages and retirement contributions that we expected to have. I'm not sharing that for sympathy, and I'm not blaming everything on the stock market. Some of the investment decisions were ours, and we have to own that. I am sharing it because retirement plans are built around assumptions, and sometimes health problems, financial losses, and life itself destroy those assumptions. We cannot go backwards and rebuild those 10 years. We can only make the smartest possible plan with the income, savings, and health that we have today. Our house payment is approximately $650 a month. Someone might hear that and think, that isn't expensive. Why would you sell it? Because the payment is only the first line of the budget. Our property taxes are $3,400 a year, which averages about $285 a month. Our homeowner's insurance is about $26.85 a year, or about $224 a month. The payment, taxes, and insurance together cost about $11.59 every single month. And we still haven't turned on lights, used any water, or fixed anything. And the house is literally as old as I am. It was built the same year I was born. Our electricity averages about $500 a month during the summer. Y'all, we live in Texas, so there you go. And it's still about $300 in the winter. That gives us an average of about $400 a month. Our gas bill is about $45 in the summer, but it can exceed over $200 in the winter. Yes, it gets cold in Texas. Using $200 as a conservative winter figure, that averages at least $123 a month. Water and trash averages another $125 a month. Our internet is $80. Our average utilities and internet together are about $728 every single month. Then there's the expenses people conveniently leave out when they say their home is inexpensive. maintenance. We estimate an average of about $300 a month for repairs and upkeep. That doesn't mean we spend exactly $300 a month. One month might not cost anything. Another month brings plumbing, an air conditioner problem like last month, an appliance replacement, or some other repair that costs thousands. Homeownership does not stop costing money because the mortgage payment looks manageable. After the house payment, taxes, insurance, utilities, internet, maintenance, our home alone costs about $21.87 a month. We do not have car payments, which helps tremendously, but paid off cars are not free cars. Our insurance for both vehicles is about $12.23 every 6 months, so it's about $200 a month. My gas is about $50 a month because I primarily work from home. The only time I use my Suburban is when I go do markets. Larry currently drives for Uber, so his gas is closer to $50 a week. And together that averages about $267 a month in gas. Our car registrations average about $13 a month, and repairs average about another $65 or so a month. Our current vehicle costs are about $550 a month. Now, part of Larry's fuel and repair expenses is connected to him driving for Uber, and that's a fair criticism of the current total. If he stopped driving Uber after retirement, we would reduce the fuel and maintenance costs. We might also sell one vehicle, but my Suburban is a 2002. Yes, you heard that right, 2002, and his car is a 2018, so neither one of them would be good to have alone. But removing Larry's Uber-related gas and his higher repair expenses would still leave our current basic costs at about $3,040 a month. That is still about $540 more than our expected monthly income before we even try to travel at all. Selling one car could lower it further, but it would not eliminate the basic problem. The house still consumes most of the income. Our groceries average about $400 a month. And I know that's cheap for a lot of you, but there's only 2 of us. And honestly, we only eat like twice a day. My prescriptions are about $20 a month. And thankfully, Larry, because he's Cherokee Indian, doesn't have to pay any co-pays or prescription costs for his insurance. Our 2 phone bills are currently over $135 a month. We do have a subscription to Daily Drop Pro. If you've seen one of my other videos about Daily Drop Pro, it's an amazing app that you can go on to find great point redemptions for travel, and it costs about $12 a month. Netflix is about $9 a month. These are not luxury vacations, designer shopping, or expensive entertainment. This is food, medicine, our phones, and just 2 subscriptions. Those basic expenses add another $577 a month. Put everything together, and our current basic expenses total about $3313 a month. Our expected retirement income is only $2,500 a month. That creates an estimated monthly shortfall of over $800, or approximately $9,756 every year. And remember what's not included in that? If we ever wanted to go out to dinner, entertainment, clothing, dental and vision expenses, major home repairs, if we had to replace one of our cars, gifts, or even any travel. This is not a retirement budget. This is the cost of keeping the household running. Could we remain in America? Probably, but we would have to change the plan completely. We could spend our house sale money every month to cover the shortfall, but then we wouldn't have a house if we sold it. We could continue working. We could move into something smaller, perhaps. We could give up all of our travel, or we could cut spending until retirement became a little more than staying home and trying not to have an emergency. And none of those choices are automatically wrong, but that's not the retirement that Larry and I have been working towards. We do not want to preserve the house at the expense of a life that we want to live. What does your basic household cost before travel or entertainment? Put the number in the comments. I think many of us underestimate it because the expenses arrive as separate bills. When we sell the house and both vehicles, several major expenses will disappear. No house payment, no property taxes, no homeowners insurance, no utilities on an empty house, no home repairs, no car insurance, no gas, no vehicle registration, and no car repairs. That removes approximately $2,737 a month from our current expense structure. It doesn't make full-time travel free, but it stops us from funding a permanent American household while also trying to pay for travel. We will still have fixed expenses after leaving. We're estimating about $300 a month for international medical insurance, although we haven't finalized the policy. My prescriptions are about $20 in the US, but they should be less in other countries. Our travel phone lines will only be $5 a month with Tello, or $10 total if we decide to keep both of them. Our mail service is going to be about $12.50 a month. FlexiRoam is the international data plan that we're looking at, and you buy it in blocks of time, and it will average about $17 a month based on about $200 a year. Daily Drop Pro averages $12 and Netflix is still $9. That gives us an estimated continuing fixed expenses of about $381 a month. Starting with approximately $2,500 a month and subtracting around $381 in fixed expenses, that leaves about $2,119 a month. That $2,119 must cover lodging, food, trains and local transportation, flights, cruise taxes and fees, gratuities, personal expenses, and unexpected costs. So no, we're not claiming that selling the house suddenly makes us wealthy. It gives us room to build a travel budget, and that is very different from saying travel will be free. We cannot take $2,119 a month and book ordinary hotels every night, though. That would fail almost immediately. The plan works only because we're stacking several strategies. We use longer Airbnb stays to lower the nightly cost. We're going to use trusted house sitters to eliminate lodging costs during some portions of our trips. We use travel points for flights and hotels, and we use casino offers for cruise cabins when the total value makes sense. And we plan to use trains and public transportation instead of owning vehicles, and no single strategy makes retirement travel affordable, but the combination will. Subscribe because the next video in this series will show our actual $2,500 a month full-time travel budget and where that budget is most likely to break. House sitting is not a tiny bonus in our plan. It changes the lodging math. We already have multiple confirmed house sits in the UK for 2027, and during those periods, we won't pay rent or hotel costs. But house sitting is not simply free accommodation. We are agreeing to care for someone's pets and their home. We have responsibilities. We cannot leave for the entire day, and travel between house sits still costs money. But the value is real, but so is the work. That is why I will eventually show exactly how much those confirmed sits replace an estimated lodging cost. We expect to net approximately $150,000 from selling the house. That money gives us a meaningful safety cushion. We also have access to a separate emergency reserve, but neither one makes an unaffordable monthly plan affordable forever. If we spend an extra $1,000 every month from the house proceeds, that's $12,000 a year disappearing from our savings. If we spend an extra $2,000 a month, that's $24,000. Savings can protect a plan, but they should not be used to hide a plan that fails every month. Our goal is for ordinary income to cover ordinary travel as often as possible. This plan has risks. International insurance might cost more than we currently estimate. Flights might rise, a house sit could cancel. We could have a medical problem that changes how we travel. Casino offers could slow down or disappear. A long-term rental could cost more than we expect. Or we might just simply discover that full-time travel is more exhausting than we predicted. That is why we are not depending on just one offer, one points program, or one country. We have savings, we have an emergency reserve, and we can change locations, reduce travel, or return to the United States if the plan stops working. A real retirement plan needs an exit strategy. What is the biggest risk you see in our plan? Do not sugarcoat it. Put it in the comments below because I want this plan stress test before we ever leave. Larry and I are not leaving because we hate America. We're not claiming that Europe is always cheaper, and we're not pretending that full-time travel will be easy. We're leaving because our current lifestyle costs approximately $3,313 a month, while our expected retirement income is only about $2,500. Keeping a house and cars would force us to spend savings every single month before we even start traveling. Selling them reduces our estimated fixed expenses to approximately $381 a month, and that lets us direct the remaining income towards the retirement that we actually want. We could remain here and make our lives much smaller. Instead, we're just changing the math. In the next video in this series, I'm breaking down our real $2,500 a month full-time travel budget. Make sure you're subscribed so you can see whether the numbers will genuinely work. And comment below, would you keep the house and travel less, or sell almost everything and take the risk? Play the math and live the life, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.